exciting. Okay, so remember this. Right now, and you know it, we have... Look up, Stormy, look up, Michael. Stormy, you're left.
One of Donald Trump's earliest legal troubles during his presidential campaign came just days before the presidential election, when a porn actress named Stormy Daniels signed a hush money agreement that was coordinated with Donald Trump's then personal attorney, Michael Cohen, and a company that had been set up for a non-disclosure agreement in which Miss Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, would sign this agreement to stay quiet about an alleged affair that she said she had with the president back in 2006.
First, all too often, we hear the adage, we are a country of laws without justice.
Hi, everyone. So, for years, Mr. Cohen has acted like he is above the law. He has considered him.
It's not publicly revealed until after Trump is elected to office that this hush money payment was made. But once that surfaces, it sparks several lawsuits, including one by Ms. Daniels attempting to quash this agreement, the hush money agreement that she signed, as well as other investigations that are launched, specifically a federal investigation examining whether there was a campaign finance violation. Donald Trump has said he never had sex with Stormy Daniels and never had an affair with any woman. But what we know from testimony before House and Senate panels, as well as testimony given in federal cases, is that Donald Trump did know about the payment that was made to Stormy Daniels. His personal attorney, Michael Cohen, has admitted that he was directed by Donald Trump to make that $130,000 payment to keep Stormy Daniels quiet, despite the fact that Trump said he had no knowledge of it.
I don't know the answer. I suspect maybe 2.5 hours for completion.
Michael, can you tell us the last time, possibly?
Excuse me?
Go ahead.
Currently an investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office that's examining these hush money payments. It's important to note this is a separate investigation from the federal investigation that already happened that sent Michael Cohen, that was Donald Trump's personal lawyer, to prison already.
Thank you. During the campaign, I traveled the nation and visited the...
There is a legal theory being explored in New York looking at whether or not the violation of campaign finance laws could also be applied as a state offense. If that indeed is the case, it could increase the penalty for a conviction for offering this false business document, from making it from a misdemeanor into a felony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What are your thoughts going into this case? What do you think this case says about the character of Donald Trump?
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. What do you think?
Generally, under Justice Department guidelines, a sitting president cannot be indicted. However, once that person leaves office, there is a window within the statute in which a former president theoretically could be charged with a crime. In this case, federal prosecutors in New York City said that they had closed their investigation while Donald Trump was still in office, and thus there was no federal charge that was brought as a result of that investigation. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, though, has revived this investigation and has already started to call witnesses before a grand jury, a state grand jury that's sitting in New York City, along with bringing in specific members of the Trump's inner circle to speak with investigators as they try to get a grasp of whether or not they'll bring state charges for the same offenses.
Don't trip, guys. If you trip, I die.
I know you did. I know you
This guy's in the wrong.
Today I testified for about 2 hours before the Manhattan grand jury. Prior to the testimony, you should be aware that I had submitted to both Trump's defense team Susan Necklace, and the Manhattan District Attorney's Office 5 packets of materials. I would say that in total, it was probably about 4 inches thick. I tried to get the Manhattan District Attorney to give the materials to the grand jury. That's the whole reason I produced these, most of which were compiled in 2018 and 2019. In 2018, I gave essentially the same information to the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, only after they notified me that Michael Cohen had executed a waiver of the attorney-client privilege for reasons I have no idea. Frankly, it was a very stupid move by Michael Cohen, because now we were able to tell the truth about what Michael Cohen was saying at any point in time starting in April of 2018. So that's why I wanted to get those materials that I gave to the U.S. Attorney's Office and sat for a 2-hour interview with them back in 2019, after which, you may have noticed, the Southern District of New York didn't do any business with Michael Cohen. There's a reason for that. He's totally unreliable. Today, after giving all those materials to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, out of 321 emails, they cherry-picked 6 emails to ask me about. And of course, they took them out of context. When they took them out of context, I told the grand jurors, I don't know whether this will ultimately come to fruition or not, I told them to ask for the entire packet, and I held it up. I said, there's 321 emails. You need to see each and every email, which follow in chronological fashion and give you the life history of Michael Cohen dealing with our firm. I understand that earlier there were some comments made by the folks out here that you were waiting for Trump's lawyers. We are not Trump's lawyers. We do not represent Trump. We have never represented Trump.
I pulled way from downtown to the lab.
Yeah.
You beat us. I knew you were still talking. Did I really?
Yeah. What I'm going to do ultimately is release the materials that I gave to the Manhattan DA's office and to Trump's lawyers to the media and let you guys read everything. Because my only mission there today was to tell the truth about what Michael Cohen was saying at any point in time during the time that we were representing him. I was very surprised that one of them didn't say, yeah, give us the rest of the documents. We had an argument in front of the grand jurors about why they're not giving them the documents. He said, some of that stuff is hearsay. I said, really? Actually, those documents were made and maintained in the regular course of business. They constitute business records. Business records are an exception to the hearsay rule. Guys, thank you very much.
They wake up, so you have to receive the right education. Maybe, like grade. The basic fundamental value, Christian value, family value. For years, it's hard. But I suggest them to watch conservative.
No. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. Okay. You can get my drink.
And we're here to make sure.
I wanted to make something different. For yesterday, but it didn't arrive. Yeah. The teaching game was there.
I think it's going to be the pivotal, defining moment of our generation. I mean, a mugshot of the president coming out. I mean, this has never happened before. This is unprecedented. I mean, it would be an iconic photo, to be sure, and I definitely think it's going to send some uneasiness among many people, not just Republicans, but Democrats, centrists. I mean, indict a potato. I mean, indictments are nothing. You could get anyone an indictment. At the end of the day, it's a very nuanced legal theory that he was supposed to, supposedly for a private settlement, use campaign funds rather than private funds. I mean, the feds didn't want to press charges on this. The previous DA didn't want to press charges on this. Now they're doing it, and it's probably past the statute of limitations, even based on their own fact pattern. So, if you base it on their, legal theory, it's past the statute of limitations. And if you think their fact patterns are nonsense, then we're back to square one, where it's sort of a trumped-up charge. It's sort of ridiculous, and it's politicized. At the end of the day, I think it only helps one person. I think it only helps Donald J. Trump. Yeah. I think it's going to solidify his win in the primary. I think it's going to help him in the general. So, I don't know. It seems like a dumb electoral move if I was a Democrat.
VISHBURRA. Look, it's real simple. Alvin, we're here to claim our streets back. We need a DA who's going to focus on doing the job and not weaponizing his office to pursue political persecutions that are neither wanted nor warranted.
They just like ambush reporting.
On it. And instead, we're pushing a man that may actually have had some financial.
DOJ wouldn't take the case. Federal District of New York didn't take the case. Cy Vance wouldn't take the case. Bragg didn't want to take the case. And then what changed? President Trump announces he's running for president, and Shazam! We're gonna some bookkeeping error from 7 years ago. His misdemeanor is now what they were after. So it makes absolutely no sense, and it's based on their star witnesses, Michael Cohen, who we all know has had trouble in the past with telling the truth. So, in fact, he when he testified, the first big hearing the Democrats had back in 2019, first big hearing that Congress, was Michael Cohen from the Oversight Committee. He lied 6 times in front of our committee, and that's the guy that makes no sense. So I think the country understands that, and we'd like to know what kind of communications Mr. Bragg may have had with the Justice Department.
But you don't know what the charges are against former.
No, we're going on what you guys have told us. Yeah. I mean, that's all been reported.
But aren't you jumping to conclusions? I mean, he may have broken the law. Does that concern you?
We don't think President Trump broke the law at all. But what concerns me is what they're going to do based on what's been reported. That's
so do you have any evidence that federal funds were used here?
We're asking about. That's what we're
requiring. So do you plan to ask about it in any local investigation?